Here now.
Okay, well, wait. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
Okay. You want to wait a minute or?
No, let's go ahead. We're 7 minutes after, so
Okay.
we should be
Go
pretty
ahead.
good. We'll have a few drop in later, but
Okay, well-
start. Go ahead.
this is, I have more Stroppel canes than I know what to do with, because every time I clean up my space, I end up with scraps like this. And I don't know how many of you attended my class when I was in Houston before, or if you've seen me in any of my films or videos, but I'm going to show you how to make a Stroppel cane like I make it. There's lots of people online that are making versions of it that aren't exactly like mine. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And then I was just playing around because I had so many of these that I came up with this idea for these little fun and easy earrings. And so we'll start with just doing a Stroppel cane. And I don't know about y'all, but I had to leach this a little bit. I set up a little bit yesterday, came in and got ready. And it's so sticky because it's new. It's so new. So I always, and I did this before COVID and all the lack of supplies. I always sheet my black up and my white because I use so much. And that way, even though it's not on leaching paper, it's on a paper that, kind of gets it all ready for me to go. And I don't have to stop and open a package and condition it. I've got them all ready to go that way. And so I just take a little bit, just tear off a little bit like this, because you don't need much. Well, depends on how many scraps you have. And I always roll this down to a number 9 on my pasta machine because I want just a little bit of black. I don't like a lot of black. If it's too thick, then the black takes over. It gets really dominant. And all of my scraps, because that's how I am, they all have black in them because that's kind of my signature, Skinner blends and black. And that's the other reason why I think my my Stroppel canes are as successful as they are, at least I've been told they're successful, is because of the Skinner blends. And so I really, really applaud Judith Skinner for showing us that technique because it has dimension. And I always mixed mine with white and my color. And I've been doing that for a long time because in my studio, I had the first time, a couple of times I taught canes, I had people come in and they brought their own colors. And some of them came out really horribly. They just didn't go together. And so to keep that from happening, I decided to just provide the clay myself. And it was always white and a color. And that way all of my canes go together and I don't have to worry about them matching or going together. But if you just used a light color, that would be good too. But it still works with all the scraps. Anyway, I go down one click at a time and excuse my pasta machine, but I'm going to run to number 9. I'm sorry, but it's just hard for me to turn my iPad off. I have to stand up and look down and all that kind of stuff. So I just lay out a little piece of the black as thin as I can get it. And then usually I just have stuff all over my my workspace. And it's pieces that I cut and they just weren't quite right. And I just literally lay them on. And some people, I've seen some people do a Stroppel cane and they take it and they chop everything up to teeny tiny bits. And I mean, that's one way to do it, but that's not how I do it. That kind of defeats my purpose. I just want to be able to lay it out there and not have to fuss too much with it. That's the whole point. The only thing that I can control a little bit is where the color placement is. So, you know, there's purple here and a little bit purple there. And so I might disperse the color a little bit, but you can't really control a Stroppel cane. It's going to do whatever it really wants to do. So just pile it up. And it really, really doesn't matter. I have a sign in my studio. I had a lady make it for me. And it says, it really doesn't matter, because it really doesn't. So usually when I'm doing this, I have, you know, a palette maybe that I've been working on, and the colors kind of all go together. But this is from several of my other classes. And those are the end pieces, or a piece that I cut that didn't turn out very well. And then if you had extra pieces like this of your canes, and you wanted them to show up, you put them sideways like this, because then when I cut this, it's going to cut it like that, and it'll show up that way. So, you know, if you have any little pieces, these are all pieces from these sheets that we're going to use in a minute, and I just trim the edges, and so I could use those as well, and I could just throw them in there like that. It really doesn't matter. But usually what I would do is clean up everything on my space, and then I didn't have to worry about what to do with it or where to put it or how to keep it. So I'm just going to run this back through real quick. Number 9. And this doesn't have to be perfect. If it's patched, it doesn't matter. So like that. And then I just like to squish it down. I like to get all the air bubbles out. And I like it to be kind of organic. And I like that word. It covers a multitude of things. And my stuff is usually kind of organic. So then I can cut it in half this way, or I can cut it in half this way. But I think I'm going to do this. And then I'll put it back together like that and just squeeze it down. And then that's what I've got from all that. And I think I can either leave it like this, or I could cut it and stack it again. But I think I'm just going to leave this. And then I like to push it together, because I like it to be wiggly wobbly. I don't want it to be straight. I mean, it could be, but I don't particularly, I like it better if it's a little bit more organic. So then I can cut it here, and I'll end up with something totally different. You can see that. But I'll still want it a little bit smaller for earrings. Like that. I'll put that aside for a minute, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some sheets. And sheets are simply a color, and it's both sides are covered with black. You could use another darker color, you know, a different color. You could use white, you could use anything you want, but I mean, black is just kind of my signature. And these are just plain colors, but I want to show you how I can reconstitute, well, not really reconstitute, but take a plug like this. This is a ombre plug, goes from light to dark, of a Skinner blend. And this is how I save mine. I save them in like that, and I save them in bullseyes. And that's how I save all my colors. If I'm making Skinner blends, that's what I do all day long. Well, not all day, but a lot of the day. And then I put them in, I cut them in half. I use a whole package of white and a whole package of a color. And then I have 4 ounces of a Skinner blend. I cut it in half and I make 1/2 of it this and 1/2 of it like that. And if I save it like this, eventually it's going to dry out enough so that I have to redo it. And then I've already spent the time to do it. I don't want to have to go back and redo it again. So I save like this. And then when I'm ready to use it, I can just come in and most of the time this one, it doesn't work with this one so much, but with this one, I'll save it like this, but a lot of times I'll go ahead and square it off, you know, just by pinching the edges and maybe using my roller like this to square it up. And then I've really got a block that I can use. And this one I've used a couple of times, I can tell. So I just cut a piece off that was a little bit thicker than a number 1 or a number 0 on my pasta machine, which would be the widest. And then I'll roll it with the roller, depending on how long I want it. And this one, I'm gonna keep it probably only this long this way, because I don't want to lose my Skinner blend when I start working with it. But I will roll it out smooth enough and thin enough so it'll go through my pasta machine on number 0 or number 1, the widest setting, without hurting my pasta machine. So I'm going to run it through on the widest setting one time. Sorry, I'm wiggling here. And then I'm going to take a number 9 black. And I know number 9 is a pain sometimes. That's the thinnest on your pasta machine, but it really does work. Except sometimes if you're going to roll it out really thin, you might start with a 7. And then as you roll it out thinner and thinner, you'll maintain a lot more of the black. If it gets too thin, it starts to gray, but we're not going to roll this out that thin. So I'm going to go ahead and go to a number 9 on the pasta machine just to get it really thin. I do apologize for the noise, but I found it's difficult to turn it off and turn it on. So, and just, this is how I do it. I'll tap it down on one end like that. And then I can pull this really nice and tight. Kind of in my way here. And that way you can see, you can get all the wrinkles out really easily. But I still don't worry about the wrinkles because once I get the black on both sides, I'm going to run it back through the pasta machine on the widest setting, and it gets rid of all the bubbles or wrinkles or whatever defects you might have in there. So there's no reason to sit here and try, you know, to get the wrinkles out over and over and over, because we're going to do that with the pasta machine. So both sides are covered. And with the ones that are solid color, you don't have to worry about the direction. But when you're doing one that has a Skinner blend on it, you want to make sure that you pay attention to the way your Skinner blend is going, because you don't want to lose that. And so what I like to do is always tell myself, where is the front of my cane? And so this is going to be the front of my cane, and this is going to be the front of my cane. Now, this doesn't have a lot of pink in it, but I don't care. I'm going to use it anyway because I want to show you how to do the Skinner blend. I could use just a plain one, that might match a little better, but we're going to use the pink anyway. So I need for it to get a little bit longer because I want to have enough on both ends like this to be able to do a little jelly roll on both ends. You don't have to do a little jelly roll, but you can, and you can do whatever you want there, but that's what we're going to do for this first one. And so I needed a little bit longer. So I'm going to run it through the pasta machine this way to make it longer this way. But this is why it's important that you pay attention, because if you run it this way, you're not going to make it any longer at all. It's going to stay like that. So I just want to roll it gradually, one click at a time to make sure it's long enough without going too long. So one click at a time. It is really distracting. I'm gonna have to do something about putting my pasta machine somewhere else. Anyway, so there's my Skinner blend still going from light to dark, and now it's thinner, and there's a lot to play with here. So I'm just going to take this end, either end, it doesn't matter. And I always like to put my knife straight down and slide underneath, and then start the turn with my knife like that, my blade. And then just roll it maybe 1 or 2 rounds like that. I'll just cut it so we can see exactly what I have. That didn't work. So you see it's just a couple of rounds like that. And then I'm just going to put that right there. And I don't need all of this, so I'll cut that off. Save that. And then on the other end, I'll do the same. 45 degrees back towards myself. Put this down under, give it a start. And then there's that. So this can be an earring just like that. I mean, you can do it a lot of different ways. This one I used 2 different colors on it. This one I did lay it out flat. And this one I made 2 loops like that. So it's just a matter of playing and deciding exactly what you want to do with it. This one, I flipped it and did kind of a Natasha bead. I could have rolled this the other way too. There's a gazillion different ways you can do it. So let's just cut it in half and then put it back together this way. Now see, there's lighter on this end and darker on that end. So if I wanted them to be the same, I'd flip it like that. I could flip it this way and have them all going in the same direction. Or I could do this. I could. No, it's still pretty long earrings. So if you wanted to, this would be the time to make it a little bit smaller if you wanted it smaller. And I think I'll cut earrings. 2 slices. And I can reshape these if I want to. You're not stuck with what you've got unless you like it to start off with. So there are 2 earrings. And then if I wanted to, I could make a pendant out of this to match. Ooh, see, there's that one that I put, only I put it that way. Remember that little round I had? So if I was cutting this way, I would have gotten a different cut, but went that way. So, but it's kind of interesting. You never know. So I could put that together and make myself a pendant. And of course, when I cut it again, it'll be different too. Interesting. Anyway, so that's a quick, easy, breezy Stroppel cane earrings. Any questions? Pretty simple. No, everybody's can't hear you. And then what I'm going to do is this one is a this is a Stroppel cane 2 kind of. So I'm going to take another, and those were big scraps that I had. And sometimes what I have is this, which aren't very good slices, you know, they're just really a mess. And so you can take your number 9 and lay it out. Actually, let's do it this way. I've got this leftover piece, and I'm just going to lay that there, and then I'm going to come over here and get some of these pieces. And this could be a fresh cane. This could be an old cane that you have that you don't like, or that you've got so much of it when you made it that you don't know what you're going to do with it. And you could just slice it and lay them across either just a plain black sheet, or you know, just a plain black piece or a sheet. You just lay them across like this, whatever you find here. Or you could just glob it on if you wanted to, but this one I find it's more fun if you kind of lay it across like that. And let's see, got these little pieces like that. And this can be as long as you want it. I mean, it could go on further for sure. And I'll cut up the sides. And now I can either roll it from this end, or I can start rolling on this end. And I think 45-degree back towards myself to get it to start. And I'll start rolling. And this is really thick. So one thing that I found when I'm rolling a jelly roll, and this black is really, really soft. So I'm not going to have too much of a problem with it pulling and cracking. But because this is so thick, sometimes it does. When I'm pulling, like when I'm doing this, I'm really putting a lot of pull on the back of this piece. And so to keep it from cracking or cracking really, I'll try to push back as I roll, if that makes sense. I'm using my thumbs to push back a little bit as I roll, instead of going like this and really pulling it that way. I'm pushing and rolling and pushing and rolling. And that way, sometimes you'll see that you start to crack. And if you do, then you can just push back under here a little bit, if that makes sense. When you try it, sometime you'll see what I mean. So I just keep rolling. And then see what we have. Every single one comes out different. So there you go. That's a weird little earring where you can flatten it out. Let's see, probably need to cut a bit more of that. Get my, there you go. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, there's just endless ways to do it. And the other thing I like to do, you know, I'm the scrap woman here, I'm telling you. I have so much scrap. I like to keep these little guys. These are the extrusions you make. I don't know if you can see that. It's got a hole in the middle, you know, on your extruder. Just doesn't want to show up. Anyway, there's a hole all the way through here. It's Y'all know what I'm talking about, don't you? The. My camera.
I think most of us know, are
Yeah.
familiar with it.
Okay, good, thanks.
The few that don't, you can contact me later and we'll talk about it.
Right. And so they're different size holes, but this one, like this one, I just curved as I baked it. So this can end up being a piece of a necklace, but I keep these cut into different sizes, you know, so that when I have scrap, because like I said, I have too many Stroppel canes already. Oh, let me get this up. So I make these little beads out of my scraps, and they're bright and colorful and fun to do. And you can have the same color, or you can have, you know, all kinds of bits, or you can take your Stroppel cane and cut it thin. And what I like to do is make it long enough and wide enough to cover the bead to start off with. So it's like that. And I always use, if I could find it, my double-ended knitting needle. I'm sure you guys all have one of these. It's my go-to. I really use it a lot for a lot of different things. And I don't have any cut, but usually I just have little pieces of this cut ready to go, this paper. And I use a doorknob, and get it nice and burnished out. Let's see. And it's really a great way to use your scraps. Let's see, I didn't make this well, kind of wide enough. Just pinch it around. And so
Alice, I think we may have lost you there.
huh?
I don't know about everyone else, but you blanked out for
Oh, I did.
20 seconds.
Should be all right. I mean, I don't know. I pay enough money down here to not black out.
It froze for just a short time, but it didn't last long.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know where I blacked out, but I just covered this piece, you know, and so they make cool little beads. And so if you just keep these on your desk as you're cleaning up, and this could be not just for canes, but for any surface design, you know, if you had little bits and pieces left over from those sheets, what are they called? I'm old, you guys have to help me. You know, the sample sheets or the yeah, see, y'all are having trouble too.
I'm not getting a clue as to what you're talking about.
Well, you know, they're the sheets they make from jelly plates, or you know, the that'll do it. Huh?
No.
Anyway.
No.
Any of those things you can use that you've made. Your makumigami, you know, you have little bits of that left over, you can use that. Lots of fun different things. So, are there any questions?
No.
No? It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty self-explanatory. And very good information.
Yes.
I'm just sitting here amazed.
Oh, well, these are a couple of other Stroppel cane twos. They're just fun, you know, and that's just taking this and if you had, like I said, you had an old cane that you didn't particularly like, or not that I could just do this one too, even though I've already done it once, and just lay it on just a sheet of black. Just like that. And roll it back up, and you'd be amazed at what you can come up with from your old canes that you never thought you were going to use ever. Just like that. And even if this cracks a little bit, it doesn't really matter. And with this one, I might just pick it up because it's so thick. And then I can hold it here with this hand, and I can push back as I roll and use my thumb here and my fingers here and push back as I roll around. And that way I don't crack it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just scrap. So there we have that one, and now it's that one. And sometimes it's just fun to have accent pieces when you're doing beads and things. So, which I think I like it better the time before, but you never know until you try. So that's it. That's my Stroppel cane earrings.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Y'all have a meeting now, or? No, I have a whole hour, huh? I'm supposed to- What else can I do?
I have a question.
Please.
On your teachable.com, you've got two different groups of cane workshops. One is for beginners and one is expanding your canes. Are they totally different canes in the two different video classes?
They are. But the yeah, they are. And the beginning one shows you sheets and you know, the basics.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm looking
And
at it. Mm.
then on Zoom, I teach a class that's 2 weeks long. That's called building your cane inventory, and it encompasses both of those plus extrusions. You know, so
Oh, do you have a link for that? Is that a live class or?
it's a live class, but I don't have one scheduled right now. But
Oh.
I will. You know, if I have
And how long is it?
2 weeks, 2 days,
Oh,
a week
okay.
apart.
okay.
Because what happens is the first class, I taught people how to, you know, do the various components.
Uh-huh.
And then the first time I taught it live, they said they didn't have enough time. They didn't have enough stuff made, you know.
Yeah.
So the first class is showing you how to do that. We make a bunch of canes, and then you have a week to get your components together and your color palettes and all that, so that the next week you have more inventory to make more inventory. So, and that one, like I said, it involves three of the classes really, and it's usually 150, but it's 2 weeks, and I have a middle day in between the 2 weeks that we can meet for an hour if you have any questions. So that works.
And how do you find out about that class if and when you
can-
have another?
You can sign up if you go to AliceStroppel.com
Uh-huh.
and sign up for my newsletters.
Oh, okay.
And then that is I have too many blogs. I have too many this, too many that, but I've decided AliceStroppel.com is where I'm doing my live video Zoom links. And at the top of that page, across the top, you'll see the ones listed that I'm having right now. I just had one last week. I have one coming up this week, and then another one the next week. And then I'll make another schedule for October. And that's a class that I teach often, and people like it, I think. So it has all of the canes that you see in both of those classes in that one live one, the
Okay.
2 weeks. And then you get a 40% off. I don't record those because it's a long story, but I just don't. But then you get 40% off if you want to buy the online school to go with it for later, you know, if you want. But the main thing is to learn the components and how they go together. And then you make your own canes. It's not so much about making that, you know, those canes over again.
Right.
So it's just, but these are, these are some of the canes that we make in those classes. So there's lots of different ones.
That looks like it takes a ton of clay.
Well, it takes, I don't make that big of, you know, you don't have to make them that big. Well, there's lots of them with the same canes there, you know, but
Mhm.
it does take some, but you have to have white, that's for sure.
Yeah. Good luck with finding that.
Yeah, well, Sculpey has it, but it's just, you know, the regular price. You don't get a deal on it from Sculpey.
Right.
But when you're desperate.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
I
I'm trying to think if there anything else I can show you.
Well, okay, I've been looking at your website or at some of the samples of stuff you've done online. Do you have any pieces you've completed, not with a Stroppel cane, but with your regular canes that you could show?
Sure. Hold on, let me pause this and I'm at the shop, so I have a lot of things hanging around. I'll be right back.
It is good to see everyone.
Well,
Jill,
you're to be applauded for keeping this going.
just trying to keep it moving until we have a chance to get back together.
Yeah, I don't know about Dallas because, you know, we met in that wonderful classroom at the retirement center, and they are erring on the side of caution for their residents. So I don't know if they're ever going to reopen that to outside groups.
Right. Yeah, we've been meeting at Texas Art Supply. They've got.
Oh yeah, that's lucky.
Yeah, but I haven't. You know, they closed for a while, and they've had restrictions on getting in and use, and haven't gotten back to them to see how the schedule is. But then I suspect a lot of our people are not quite ready to go back together and meet
That's
on.
true.
I didn't curl my hair, so that's why I didn't put on the video. And I just came home from the hospital last night. So,
Oh,
What was wrong?
Oh,
I have Parkinson's and I go to the NIH about every year and a half.
Oh dear.
We miss
My
seeing
husband's
you,
just
Jill.
been diagnosed with that.
Yeah.
Well,
I've
Jill,
had it a
it's good
long
to
time.
see you.
Well, it's
Have you-
good to
did you
see
hear that?
all of you.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Oh, hi, Margaret.
Hey.
this is not very, this is from a class I did the other day. That, so you see it's messed up.
Well, I've actually been here watching you.
But these are called lovable leftovers because they're just cut really thin. And so that's the class I teach. But they're just fun. It's the latest thing I've been doing with leftovers. Because like I said, I have way too many Stroppel cane earrings. So, or Stroppel canes, period. So these are just fun. And I just kind of couldn't stop. You know what I mean? And I'm not even open. I haven't been open. So I have no place to sell these. So I just, like, it's crazy. I had to stop. I had to say, stop, don't do it anymore. So But
You
they're
you
done
can't
with
sell them online?
here's the thing. I've been selling online. I've been selling, I've had several different businesses. I'm tired of going to the post office. I'm tired of doing that. That's why I opened the shop. I opened the studio so I wouldn't have to do that anymore. And I just don't want to do it. And I've been teaching on Zoom enough that I've made enough money so I could pay my mortgage and, stay on top of that. So I just don't want to do it because it's not just going to the post office. You have to take a picture, then you got to write a description, and then you've got to, then you got to advertise, and it's just, I'm old. I've been
I
doing
bet
it
I'll beat you.
so many years. I just can't stand it anymore. And then this is, well, you guys, I know I did cane mapping at Houston when I was there.
Beautiful.
And,
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun class.
Yeah.
and this one doesn't have a Stroppel cane. I'm going to find one that does, because I use a lot of skinny Stroppel canes in these. And this is a sheet, you see that, and extrusions. So it involves a lot of
That's
pieces. Thank you. And I do big stuff. Let's do this.
I think I have
one
to-
behind me. And then I'll take my camera out and I'll show you the tabletops I've been doing. I teach a tabletop class too, or just large. And these guys are fun. I teach these, and people really like the birds and the cats, and we do dogs too. So those are fun, necklaces and little dancing cats.
Those are cute.
I think I have to admit that I may have been the 22nd lapse because I double clicked on your picture of all your work, thinking that I could enlarge it to fill up my screen because it's so tiny. But I guess you can't do that.
On Zoom, you mean?
Uh-huh.
No,
You should be able to pin it.
Should be able to what?
pin.
You-
If you,
look, go ahead, Robert.
if you go to the top right corner of the little window where she is,
Uh-huh.
you see 3 dots.
Yes.
If you select on those 3 dots, you can get a pin. See where it says pin or pin this image, pin this screen.
Oh, looky there. Well, that's nice.
Look what happens.
Yeah, I want to see those butterflies again. Those were pretty.
Oh, okay. This one.
Isn't that lovely?
It's a lot
That
of fun.
is.
Having
then
it all
this-
framed really makes it look nice too.
This, I don't know if you can see the other picture of me, but this is a teapot I just did. And this is
Oh,
a
my.
silver teapot that I
Wow.
Goodwill store or Habitat. And then I covered it in face canes and black and white, and then I left part of it sticking out silver. So it's pretty fun.
Well, it keeps you from having to polish it.
Well, yeah,
Really
just
nice.
have to polish the little extruded, the little sticking out bits there.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
very nice.
on Thursday, I taught a class with graphite, and I've been doing some funny little people. And this is in different, layers. But I took the rest of them home because I was going to work on some of them. So this is the only one I have here is her. But if you want, and bear with me, my shop is kind of halfway clean, but part of it isn't because I haven't been open in 2 years. So
Where
the
is it?
table is in Sebring, Florida.
Oh,
But the table that I teach at is it's covered with staging for my Zoom classes. So, but I'm going to turn my video off, but I'll keep the sound on, and I'm going to walk to the front of my shop. Okay. got it. There you go. All right, so I'm walking. And I'm in the back room. That's why there's the only place that I can be that doesn't have light shining and bouncing off everything. So anyway, so this is my shop. This is the table that I teach on here. Like I said, it's all full of junk right now. But Bob, I think somewhere over there, I have your piece hanging up that I bought at the auction when I was there.
Oh, gosh.
I do. And this is another class I haven't started yet. It's a large flowers. I need to turn the light on. And then black and white things. I have a lot of big stuff because I like to do big stuff. I don't know why I need to pin myself here so I can see what I'm doing here. There you go. So, and these are my weed pots. I teach those a lot. They're pretty funny. The little crazy birds. And lots of earrings. There's a fish that's cane mapped. It's kind of fun. And I have a big girl with a bird nest in her hair. And lots of earrings. And there's a whole bunch of those other earrings that I can't stop making. And I had to stop. I just had to stop. Have no place to sell them. So, and these are all a lot of canes. That's cane mapped. And jewelry. But I have a window full of tables. So that's the first table I did years ago. And it's not for sale because it's really not, it's your first one. And that one, these are all cane mapped little pieces of fish and things. And then this is one I made at the first Zoom cane map class I had, the big one, all crazy birds. And this is the guy that hangs out in my window. His name is Oscar. He's the tourist guy, and he's polymer clay. And
Is Zoom off now?
no,
Okay,
can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see anything.
Can the rest of you see?
See you fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah, I see.
And this table is made with a brass lamp. 2 brass lamps, actually. This one. So it's kind of fun and big. And then there's another table. And another table. So that's what's in my window right now. And then this is the rest of my shop. You look back. It's really
wow.
tiny. And she belongs in Miami Beach, actually, this one. She's kind of fun. She's polymer clay. And then all kinds of bracelets and things. But this shop is just the right size for me. It's only 13 feet wide. And so I don't have to fill it up with tons and tons of product. And that's a big cane map piece on the top up there. Anyway, that's it. Oh, and this is my wall of friends and some of my stuff, but all kinds of exchanges and things I've gotten in auctions. And like I said, yours is up here somewhere. I've
It
seen
doesn't.
it a couple times. I just have too many, that's all. But anyway, lots of stuff. And fun. This is the bowl exchange. And everybody kind of gravitates to this wall and wants to buy everything on it. And of course, I can't sell it because it's stuff either people gave to me or, I bought it or something. Anyway, that's it.
Well, thank you. That was very interesting. For Jill's benefit and everyone else, I am recording this. I will probably be posting it later today or sometime tomorrow out on YouTube. And I will send out links to both I'll send it out to the Texas Guild, and Sherry will send it out to the Dallas Guild.
Right.
Okay, sounds good.
Great.
Thank you.
Oh.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks, Alice. I've had some cane slices that have been sitting on my table for a while, and I've wondered what to do with them. Now
Well,
I'm
there you go.
inspired.
And this one, this not exactly like this, but the cane, the Stroppel cane earrings are free on my online school. And I put the link in the chat. Okay, so if you want to review it, it's there as well.
And I will email that link out to everyone as well.
And that link is, I had to go back to my email and get your link. And that's how I got back on.
Oh, okay. So you had gotten off.
Somehow or other, I got off.
Okay.
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 Well, again, thank you very much, Alice. I'm going to
Well,
stop the recording.
Okay.
I think
And
I'm
if
going to
you've got
stop.
a meeting, then I'll go and let you conduct your business.
Well, since you can't sell the